The gloves are about to come off. It is time to drop your buffs. Drop, come on in. Drop your buffs. You are correct. Yeah. Bring it in. Switch it. You are correct. You drop your buff.
Sorry, Annalise.
Survivors ready? Drop your buffs.
Welcome back to Drop Your Buffs Down Under. I'm Sean Ross, and Australian Survivor is back with its 12th season redemption beginning next week. Of course, Australian Survivor has gone through changes. We have a new host, and I had the pleasure of sitting down with our new host, David Genat, the Golden God himself, ahead of the season. It was a really fun chat. I got to pick his brain about moving from contestant to host and how he navigated that, as well as get a little bit of a tease of the upcoming season and the future of Australian Survivor. So, of course, you will be able to catch Drop Your Buffs coverage of this season. We will be doing weekly recaps of Australian Survivor alongside the usual recaps of Survivor 50. It's going to be a busy season, but I'm very excited because for our Australian Survivor recaps, I am going to be joined by my old friend and podcasting godmother, Kevin Hazelhurst, without whom there would be no Drop Your Buffs. So that is going to be so much fun. More on that to come, but without further ado, here is my conversation with David. David, you're stepping into some very big shoes, not just in terms of the incredible Jonathan LaPaglia, but in terms of Survivor hosts globally who, to varying degrees, are beloved by the fandom. And now you're this new kid on the block. So take me back and tell me what was going through your head on day one as you prepared to welcome these 24 players to Survivor Redemption.
Would you define varying degrees for me?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar about how we feel about, the direction Jeff Probst has gone in, but
No, man, it was amazing. I mean, I think when you love the show like we do, to be a contestant feels like this big milestone of like, oh my goodness, I'm playing Survivor. So to end up hosting it, it's a dream come true. I mean, it's been so amazing to be a part of that franchise as a contestant, then to get to head it up. Incredible.
But is there an aspect of this where you're feeling like, I mean, the Golden God as a player of Australian Survivor is a little bit polarizing, right? Like you either love him or you hate him. And so is that going through your mind of like, I've got to now win the whole audience over?
No, I don't think so, because I think the game and the players are the focus of Survivor. In my opinion, like I've never really watched the show for Jonathan or for Jeff. I think they're both amazing hosts, but I haven't been like, oh, I'm tuning in to see Jeff host a tribal council. Like for me, it's the players. And I even just before I was a contestant and just a fan, I was watching because of Pav and because of Rob and because of Tyson and like that I love those kind of like villainy characters. It was a secondary thing for me. So I didn't really, as a host, feel the pressure to do that. You feel more pressure to being like, you're hoping the game is good, you're hoping the guys are playing big. And because I love the game, I'm writing the storylines being like, oh, please do this, or I hope they do that. But I have to be just not showing you that. And like, I was a character on Survivor. And yeah, I'm a character for the show, but I'm a different character. I don't have to be polarizing. I don't have to try to create personal drama for the show. I'm just facilitating what's going on. So I look at it in a very different way. Because as a contestant, I was like needing to be seen and wanting to be big and wanting to give the best IVs and pop and do crazy stuff so that the audience would go, oh, great. And now on the hosting side, I'm wanting the players to do that. So the pressure for me on that regard is off. And we just have such a great team for Australian Survivor. It was like we've got the best directors and EPs and our camera team, our sound. They're just amazing. I knew with them supporting me, we couldn't fail.
Well, speaking of the players, we've got some wild cards in here, and two in particular, I'm curious to get your take on Brooke and Harry, who you voted out of All Stars, right? So there's a little bit of history there. How did you handle the dynamic of going from being their peers and their competitor to being their host and facilitator?
Well, it was tricky because Brooke and I are really close. I went to Harry's wedding. So I know them like really, really well. Like they're good friends of mine. And I love them both. And I just kind of had to, for me, it was like an ethical thing with the show and having respect for the game so much. Like I want the game to be like, I really hold the game in high regard. And because of that, I just kind of had to stop talking to them before the show. It leaked that I was hosting, and so they knew. I was hoping they would get that. I really like the fun reveals when people don't know. Like when I was coming back for Osworld, like Luke didn't know, and you get that really good, genuine moment. I was hoping for that at the start of this season, but it leaked, and they knew coming in. But I had kind of stopped really contact with them way before we started filming, just to really get in that zone. And the difference being that obviously the banter is way cheekier from Harry and Brooke this season because they know me personally. But when I step out, man, I put my mask on. I'm like a shield and I'm a host. So I'm not giving anyone advantages or any kind of like feeling that makes them feel special or worse, or I'm just there to like facilitate the game.
For Australia versus the world, I didn't even know you were out there. I didn't know till I got there. So,
I told nobody. Well, Pav knew. Pav knew. She's the reason I came back. So, other than that, no one knew I was coming. But I think like those kind of things on TV, I just love seeing that when people get really big surprises. And so I was like really into that idea of like those guys not knowing I was coming back. And my heart, when I was driving that truck in to pick him up, it was like I was like so excited to see their little faces when I picked him up in the truck. And yeah, it was just a great moment.
yeah, very iconic. But so I know that you can't play favorites, but I know that you're an admirer of the game. So did you have
Mm.
any favorites among the returning players or even the new ones that you were quietly cheering on from behind the scenes?
Yeah, definitely. And I like because of hard gameplay. So I you become a fan as the show goes along, right? Australian Survivor is a big undertaking, it's 24 eps. And it does take a while for you to relate to someone and become a fan of them when you're watching as an audience member. But I'm seeing that happen in real time. And because I love the game so much, sometimes things people are doing things and you're like, oh, this is amazing. And I think some of our new contestants like we have this girl Asha that was playing really hard. Lottie was playing really hard. Um, who else are our new ones? Keely. Like they were doing some stuff where I was just like, oh. I'm not showing or giving anything away, but oh my goodness, man, they were fun this season. So fun.
Looking forward to it. You have been
Yeah.
calling this the new era of Australian Survivor, and that's a bit of a trigger term for us here at Drop Your Buffs, but I'm keeping an open mind. So, but on paper, it's true. There is a new host in you, but there's also a new executive producer of Australian Survivor. And so I'm curious what you can tease for us about how this season may be different from what we've come to expect from Australian Survivor.
Well, I've been saying new era in a very tongue-in-cheek way, but it's like how else to describe it? I always preface that with like, ugh, new era. But it is like we're going into this new phase of the game. And it gets to go in a direction. We have fantastic EPs this season who really see the game the same way I do. And I love that old school style of Survivor where it's like the game speaks for itself, the players speak for themselves. It's big, it's tough, and yeah, I think we've achieved that this season. It's a really, really good season of Survivor.
Great. Looking back at Australia versus the world, I know you're a big fan of American Survivor. You've talked about it before, and we've had some amazing heavy hitters from America play Australian Survivor.
Yeah,
Russell, Sandra, Sari, Tony, Parvati, like some of the best of the best. Is there anyone else
yeah,
from American Survivor that you would like to see play the world's best version, Australian Survivor?
yeah. There's a few. There's quite a few. I mean, I like characters on Survivor. I'd love to see Caroline come and do Aussie Survivor because I just think that would be pretty amazing. But who else would we like to have out there? I mean, I'd love to get Tyson out here, and of course, it's a tricky one because now I'm hosting. Like, there's people I would love to play against, but I'd love to see Rob out here. I'd love to see
Hmm.
Boston Rob come out and do it. I just there's something for me with like the legends of the game, seeing them come back and play again. I love it so much, and seeing how they've evolved and their games evolved because they've all been in it for so long. So I think probably top of my list to come back and play would be Tyson, if possible.
Okay.
I took so much from Tyson in my own game when I came back to play, but I'd love to see Tyson come back in.
Yeah, that would be fun. So on the note of American Survivor, now you're in this host pantheon of global Survivor hosts, and I'm curious, has Jeff Probst made contact?
No, we have. I haven't spoken to Jeff yet. I haven't spoken to Jeff yet. I probably haven't had time to even really entertain that, and I've been back in Australia since we've been doing all this stuff. But not that I'm not open. I would love to speak to Jeff. I think he's a great host. I don't necessarily agree with the direction that the American Survivor's gone in per se, but yeah, no, I haven't spoken to Jeff, but definitely open to speaking to Jeff if he wants to chat because they created, I consider, the greatest format in television history. And if he hadn't have done it, I wouldn't even be here. And I think it's like obviously there's so many seasons and they're just trying to keep it fresh and change and evolve and whatever else. But like we stand on the shoulders of giants because they were the first ones doing it. So without those guys, like I wouldn't even been here. So big respect to Jeff. He made something I love so much and created. So yeah, I'd be definitely open to talking to Jeff. Yeah.
Well, in your mind, what is it that sets Australian Survivor apart from its US counterpart?
Look, I think it's just harder. Like the game is longer, the challenges are bigger. We still have that very physical element to our game, which I love. And I just think it's a bigger test. It's a bigger challenge. Not to take away from the new era American guys, it's still a tough game, but in a different way. But I still like the big challenges. I like seeing people work it out with a puzzle or some like a big endurance challenge or something more physical because it gives all kinds of players a chance to get through the game, not just ones who are like super physical beasts, not just ones who are like strategy machines or not like you have to have a little bit of all these things. And I think it makes for a more dynamic, more interesting game.
Hmm. I I can't help but notice, David, that you've become more of a diplomatic statesman because I remember it wasn't that long ago that you said, I wouldn't want to be doing puzzles with a bunch of dorks on American Survivor.
Oh, did I say that?
I
Look,
think so.
okay. Now, as someone who is in media, Sean, you know that occasionally you have to say something a little naughty if you want it to get printed. So whilst I do, hey, good. It got really hot in the studio all of a sudden. Um, yeah, it's a bit different when you're in a contract. No, I think there's just an dude, you completely caught me out with that. That's why I wear the red hat in case like the face goes red. But it still stands.
Yeah, yeah. No, look, you're in a safe space here. That's okay. It's
I
okay to
said it.
say
I
that.
super safe. Bro. Super safe. Yeah,
Because the other thing I'll say that maybe you don't want to say is that the other thing that sets Australian Survivor apart from US Survivor is that they cast hot people still.
we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've said some dude. This is the problem when people are recording everything you say all the time, or like taking notes when you say stuff. It's just like I don't remember saying that, but we do have a super hot cast this season. Jeepers Creepers.
Okay, can we talk fashion? Because as the Golden God, you're known for turning a look on the island. I mean, there's the leather jacket, there's of course, the iconic Tarzan look that you were wearing when you were voted out of your first
Yeah.
season. But there's a certain uniform that comes with the role of Survivor host. How much effort did you put into the styling of David, host of Survivor?
Okay, so pre-filming, we have a stylist, right? That gets all the clothes and stuff. And I've whenever you're doing TV, you swing big and then like people push back and then you kind of end up somewhere in the middle. So the best thing to do is go just like so far and beyond. So I put an inspiration board of outfits together that I'd like to do that was somewhere around uh like Palm Spring Cowboy down to some more conservative stuff, and then we pretty much settled on just the standard outfit. But I was fighting to put some stuff in there, believe me. But we kept it pretty business. It's not too far removed. I think I managed to get one cut off in this season. I've been working hard on my arms, Sean. So I thought, I want to show my shoulder. But for the most part, we just played ball for this first one because we knew the transition might be a bit rocky with the switch of hosts, and we didn't want to be like, it's such a different show now because it is still the bones of the show you love. Everything is still in place, and we didn't want to shock them too bad. So the hair's up, the caps are on, the shirts are tight, probably a little bit tighter than they used to be. But yeah, kept it pretty chilly.
Okay. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions that every host of Survivor needs to have answers to. So you're going to have to give me an answer for this. Now, in Australian Survivor, who is the best winner of all time?
Best winner of all time, present company excluded.
Present company excluded, yes.
I think Pia Miranda. I love Pia's like social game was unparalleled, and again, like I think it comes back to the people she was playing with because she had a really hectic cast to play with, and still came out on her first season and won. So I think it's Pia, and close second Haley. I think Haley was great.
Those are my exact top two. Wow. Okay. Great
Fancy that.
minds.
It's almost like we're friends or something, Sean. You know,
Almost. Okay. Best to never win.
best to never win, Luke Toki. I think. Have you interviewed Luke? Have you met him?
I've met him, but not interviewed him.
I think at the upper echelon of like Survivor players, you meet them and there's just something about these people. It's like Parv, right? You meet her and you're like, whoa, what is it about Parv? There's like a magnetic energy. She can get you to do stuff you don't want to do. Like you just, they're just exceptional people. And Luke has that same kind of energy. Like you just want to be around him. You want to be friends with him. You want to do stuff he says to do. And he's fun. I think he had a weird run on Osworld because there was a lot of pressure him coming back. That kind of changed everyone that season, the way they played a little bit. And I think he just kind of wasn't himself as much that season. But when Luke is being Luke and playing himself, he's unbelievable. And his social game, I think, is next level, amazing. And he can play with people from all walks of life. So he could be with a billionaire and he'll be exactly himself and they'll like him. He can be with someone that doesn't have much money or is like been doing it hard and they'll love him. And then, he relates to everyone on like a really amazing level. And sometimes that's the trickiest thing to do in Survivor. Like people you have nothing to do with. And then also, dude, he's such a positive guy. Like you've never like it gets dark out there. And Luke's thing is that you don't really hear him say bad stuff. Because sometimes for me, I'm like, you know what, screw that guy. I hate him. They'd be like, nah, he's all right, man. He's just trying to do his best, you know? So if someone really rubs Luke the wrong way, they're not a good person.
Okay. In the spirit of the theme of this season, who deserves a second or third chance at this game?
Just in general, you mean across formats, who would deserve
Across
a second
Australian
chance?
Survivor.
Across Australian Survivor, who I'd like to see come back. Oh boy, for more redemption, I think we got the four who probably deserve it the most. Who else would be good for some redemption? I feel like, oh boy, you are really now putting me on the spot. We've done so many interviews. I think Christy Bennett, season one winner, would
Ooh,
be good to come
yeah.
back. It's tricky because it's not like she really needs redemption. She already won it. But I'd love to have her back. And in that same vein, Lee Castledine would be great just because the last time he played, he had to get left. And I actually consider Lee to be a really, at least social game is insane. Like people want to keep him on the show, even though he's a really big physical threat. So it'd be cool to see the dynamic with those two. Again, Lee could use redemption. Probably Christy can't use redemption because she won. I would love to see Haley have another run at it too. Just for what happened last season. She's the only winner that's gone past more than 2 days on a returning season or 3 days on a returning season. So that's something pretty special there.
Yeah, agreed. I would also love to see Sam Gash. I think that move she pulled of stealing Jesse's idol
Sam would be
Blood
good.
versus
And
Water.
Sam copped a lot of heat for that out here. And yeah, she definitely did. Like to me, that is one of our top tier Australian moves. So cutthroat. Oh, it's so good. I love that. I thought it was a great one. Yeah.
Okay, so there are plenty of rumors swirling online about the future of Australian Survivor, including plans for multiple seasons, maybe a move away from Samoa. Is there anything that you can tease for us right now about what the future might hold for Australian Survivor?
The future for Australian Survivor is very good. Let me just make eyes at. Well, listen, I'm getting bad looks. I can't tell you about the future just yet, but it's very, very bright and it's very, very, very fun. Stuff's already happening. What I will tell you, I'm already getting paid for the next season, so it's going again.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm not. Look, you better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's what my motto is.
I've been doing so much media, and that does not stand out. Yeah, it's not a good way to do things, Sean.
All right. Well, David, it was such a pleasure to catch up with you. As I told you before we started filming this, I've seen the first few episodes. Australian Survivor is back. I think it is the remedy that many of us will need as Survivor 50 premieres, but that's just me talking. So happy, so happy to have you back on our screens. So happy to have Australian Survivor back on our screens. And thank you so much for your time today, David.
Well, we want Drop Your Buffs back for next season. That's what we.
I'm available.
That's yeah. But it's great, man. It's good to see you again. It's been a minute, so it's good to see your face.
All right. Take care.
Cheers, bro.